Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great America Show. It's great to have you with us. Happy Friday. Thank you so much to all joining us. We appreciate you spending your Friday evening with us here on the Great America Show. We know there's many things that you guys could be doing on your Friday evenings, but instead, you're here with us on the Great America Show. So we're forever grateful that you guys take the time to be with us here on the Great America Show. Forever grateful, and I truly, truly mean it. So once again, thanks so much. And I hope you guys are all ready for the weekend, ready for the snowstorm that's supposed to be pummeling the Northeast and throughout the West, which we'll be monitoring. Good thing is the studio's close to home, so we shouldn't miss a show. For those of you that missed me here on the Great America Show yesterday, by the way, I think I have some of the greatest listeners in the world. I know every podcast or radio show host or television guy says that, but anytime I miss a show, you guys out there are trying to figure out if something happened to me or what's going on or where is he. So I truly appreciate that. As I told you guys back a few months ago, I had my dog was going through some kidney issues, my golden retriever. He pulled through on that, and as things come in twos, he decided he was going to be an athlete and tear his ACL. So this morning at 5 o'clock this morning, we headed out to the vet so he can get his surgery. I'm pleased to announce that Donald is recovering after his torn ACL surgery. He's doing just fine. He's not happy with me, but it is what it is. Things have got to be done. That was him on his way home. A big shout out to Dr. Tomas Infernuso. If any of you guys are in the Northeast or in New York and you have animals, this is not a paid promotion. Dr. Tomas Infernuso, over out in Long Island, an absolutely amazing doctor at the Animal Surgical Center. Had Donald in and out in 30 minutes for a torn ACL, a dog. Absolutely unheard of. One of the best animal hospitals, and I've had dogs my whole life, that I've ever been to. So for what it's worth, you guys have any dog issues, there you have it. Can't say I didn't give you guys a good recommendation. So let's get into tonight's show. Why don't we? A lot of news that we missed yesterday, and a lot of news that came out today that I think we need to talk about. And some of that has to do with our favorite junkyard jackal, Jack Smith, the lowlife special prosecutor, whatever you want to call him, special counsel. The great Lou Dobbs used to call him the junkyard jackal. I think that's probably the most fitting thing that he could be called. But he was on Capitol Hill yesterday. Imagine that. This man had the goal to show up for a Capitol Hill hearing. Can you believe that? Jack Smith actually showed up. And now he showed up thinking he was going to be some sort of savior and he was going to expose Donald Trump, but he's nowhere near smart enough to do that. We've seen this weirdo act over the last few years that he's been the special counsel. Instead, he showed up and embarrassed the hell out of himself. I mean, the guy's just a total freak, and he's a total loser. And I think he may have caught himself slipping, maybe telling a little fib, every other answer. And I think there were a few people who caught on to it. Now, one of the people who's been key in going after this lowlife junkyard jackal of Jack Smith is House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, who I thought gave an absolutely rousing opening statement as for why Jack Smith was there and how we got into this first place. How we got into this into the first place. Now, I know he gets a bad rap because they really haven't been able to do anything, and we're reminded time and time again that Jim Jordan and James Comer don't have the power to come off the cross and just go arrest people. Congress can't do it. The only thing they can do is criminal referrals, which they've done. They did it last administration. And of course, Merrick Garland wasn't going to arrest his fellow Marxist dems. And we now have Pam Bondi, who seemingly doesn't want to arrest any corrupt Marxist dems. So what the hell are we to do? Nonetheless, these guys are trying. I have to give them credit where it's due. Because we're in a time right now where we have an FBI that seems to be pulseless and a Department of Justice that's not far behind. The only thing we could ask for is trying. And I think these guys are trying to put the pressure on Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. Here's Jim Jordan.
Always about politics. And to get President Trump, they were willing to do just about anything. January 7th, 2023, Kevin McCarthy becomes Speaker of the House. 16 days later, Jack Smith issues a subpoena for his phone records. Phone records from 2 years prior for a 2-month time frame, Election Day 2020 to January 7th, 2021. Jack Smith and the Biden Justice Department get the phone records of the top Republican in government, the guy second in line to the president. They know who he called, who called him, when the call took place, and how long it lasted. You can pattern an individual's life. They know who the speaker talked to before big votes, who he talked to after big votes, when he calls his colleagues, when he calls his family. And to add insult to injury, they go to the judge with the subpoena for a gag order on the carrier. AT&T, don't tell your customer, the Speaker of the House, that you just gave his phone calls to Jack Smith and Joe Biden. And here's the kicker. They say to the court, we need this gag order because he's a flight risk. Someone might tamper with witnesses or with evidence. Are you kidding me? The Speaker of the House is going to run? They got my phone records for 2.5 years. Even the Democrats said this was wrong. But of course, we shouldn't be surprised. Democrats have been going after President Trump for 10 years, for a decade. And the country should never, ever forget what they did. Over the next few hours, we're going to hear a lot of yelling and screaming, I assume, from the other side. But we should never forget what took place, what they did to the guy we, the people, elected president twice. It all started in 2016 when they spied on his campaign. The Clinton campaign hired the law firm Perkins Coie, who hired the public relations firm Fusion GPS, who hired a foreigner, Christopher Steele, to put together the fake dossier. Bunch of garbage in that document, but that was used by Jim Comey's FBI. And we all know Jim Comey. He was the guy who just last year was strolling along the beach when the good Lord had the waves wash up on shore seashells in the formation of 8647. That guy took that dossier to the FISA court, lied to the court, and then spied on the other party's campaign. This, of course, led to the Mueller investigation, 2.5 years, 19 lawyers, 40 agents, $30 million to find nothing. No conspiracy, no coordination whatsoever. Then it was impeachment 1, the anonymous whistleblower. We couldn't even know who was bringing the charge against the guy they were trying to take it, the guy we elected, who were they trying to kick out of office. We couldn't know. Secret hearings in the bunker, in the basement of the Capitol. Again, nothing. Then it was impeachment 2. No secret hearings here because they didn't have any hearings. It was a snap impeachment, and the Senate trial actually took place after President Trump wasn't in office. Then, of course, it was Alvin Bragg, who said before he got elected district attorney that there was no case here. Then he gets elected and changes his mind when the left starts pressuring him to go after President Trump. He hires Michael Colangelo, former Democrat National Committee consultant, and the number 3 guy at the Department of Justice. And then, of course, it's Fani and Nathan, Fani Willis and Nathan Wade in Fulton County, Georgia. We actually deposed Mr. Wade, one of the most interesting depositions I've sat through. We said to him, you know, you billed taxpayers in Georgia thousands of dollars for meetings in D.C. with the January 6th committee and with the Biden administration. And we asked him some questions. Who'd you talk to, Mr. Wade? He couldn't remember. We said, where'd you meet? Did you meet the Capitol? Did you meet the White House? Where'd you meet? Couldn't remember that either. We said, were these meetings in person, on the phone, or did you have a Zoom meeting? Couldn't remember, couldn't remember, couldn't remember. We finally just asked him, did you really come to D.C. and meet people? He said, oh yeah, I came, and I billed the taxpayers. I know I came, just no idea who he talked to or what he did. And then there was the raid on President Trump's home. you know, where they searched Barron's room and the First Lady's closet. In our deposition with Stephen D'Antuono, head of the FBI Washington field office, he told us none of the normal process, none of the normal protocol was followed in the investigation. He said, first of all, the case was run out of D.C. Normally you run it out of the Miami field office. No, we're going to run out of D.C. He said he recommended, and the people in the FBI at the time in the Washington field office recommended they give the president notice before they do the search, or at least when they got there, before they start the search, call the president's lawyers, ask them to come there and meet them and conduct the search together. Again, the answer from Maine Justice was no. Which brings us back to Mr. Smith. On November 18th, 2022, 3 days after President Trump announces he's running for president, Attorney General Garland names Jack Smith special counsel. One of the first things Mr. Smith does is put on his team the very people responsible for the raid on President Trump's home. The very people. And then Jack Smith also puts on his team the people responsible for getting the phone records of dozens of members of Congress. People like Thomas Wyndham, who, when we deposed him, took the fifth 71 times. We've actually referred him to the Justice Department for obstructing our investigation. Jack Smith then gets a gag order in his investigation on President Trump from Judge Chutkan without filing a single affidavit with the court from a witness or a potential witness that they felt threatened by statements from the president. You can pattern an individual's life. They know who this.
We're going to take a quick break on that, folks, but Jim Jordan, I think, absolutely leveling Jack Smith and his narrative that he had against President Trump. The whole thing was a sham. The whole thing was a sham. It was a scam. And he had everyone fooled. And he got away with it somehow. Someone let him get away with it. Who's that someone? It's the Marxist dems. We're taking a quick break here, folks. We're live tonight here for the Great America Show. So if you're joining us on Rumble, YouTube, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and follow button. Let us know where you're tuned in. We'll try to get to your shout-outs before the end of the show, as we always try to do. We're taking a quick break. We're going to be back in less than 60 seconds. There's so much more to get to from that deposition, that hearing on Capitol Hill this week, and much more news. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. You're going to have to stay with us to find out. We're coming right back, folks. Please stay with us.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you that we're making it through. My employees and I want to thank you for your continued support by extending our wholesale prices on classic MyPillows. Get standard classic MyPillows only $14.98. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Only $14.98. But it gets even better. Upgrade to a queen size MyPillow for just $18.98. King size only $1 more. Get my body pillows $29.98 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including my standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now only $14.98. Queens $18.98. Kings only $1 more. Not only that, order $75 or more, ship absolutely free. From all of us here at MyPillow, thanks America!
Thanks, everybody, for staying with us here on the Great America Show. Like I said, if you join us on Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, follow button. Let us know what you think of the show. We appreciate it. Kelly Song and Fall Girl, always a delight having you ladies with us. I got two wonderful women who literally never miss a show. It's the most amazing thing in the world. I think they come to more shows than I do. It's just unbelievable. And I really thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys from day one. I'd be sick of me by now if I were them. God bless you, ladies. I appreciate you guys never missing a show. Fall Girl, Kelly Song. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. And I truly appreciate it. Like I said, you guys never missing a show. I don't even say it jokingly that you guys are here more than me. So back to Jim Jordan, who, like I said, I think it's a bad rap for the Marxist Dems and the prosecutions. Because like I said, Merrick Garland, that scumbag, wasn't going to prosecute anybody they referred. And it seems Pam Bondi is and Cash Patel. I don't know. I truly, truly don't know. I don't know how much time we're supposed to give it. I mean, I'm told by some people that they're working in silence. I mean, how silent are you going to work? I mean, how much longer do we have to wait? You know, I got a call from somebody yesterday. Before we get into this, I think it's important because I got this call yesterday from someone who used to mentor me as, I guess, a kid and a young adult. Called me up and said, "Fawcett, how are you?" I said, "Who's this?" I didn't even have his number. And it was someone who I used to work with, or I used to work for. And as a kid, you know, a young high school kid or eighth grader, I used to brush tennis courts. I used to wake up 6 o'clock in the morning on a weekend, and I used to clean and brush tennis courts in the summer and during the week too. And he said, I was on YouTube and I came across this thing. I click on it and it's you doing a show. He's like, I'm so proud of you. You know, I know we had so many talks when you were a kid. I'm so proud to see the man you've turned into. And I said, it's so nice of you, and it's humbling and it's awesome. So we're talking, and he said, I assure you, I'm on the same side of the political aisle as you. And this is a man who's not really political. He voted for Trump because he liked his policies, but not really a political guy. And he's in the world of sports, very high level professional sports. And he said to me, and like I mind you again, this is a man who's not very political. Okay. Likes Donald Trump and likes his policies, but not very political. And I keep saying that because I think it resonates with the story. He says, I love everything Trump's doing. I think it's great. But WTF is going on? We want arrests. And I sat there and I started laughing and thinking to myself, this is someone who doesn't care about politics, voted for Donald Trump because he likes his policies. Man, I would never expect to hear that from because he wasn't a political guy. And this is something I hear every day. We want arrests. When are we going to see arrests for these people who deceived the country, who deceived President Trump and his family and every person that they were associated with? And I laughed and I said to him, I ask myself that same question every day. And I probably lose viewers over it, which is fine because I've told you guys, I'm not going to come out here and give you guys a bullshit song and a dance and tell you everything's okay when it's not, because it wouldn't be right of me to do. I'd be a liar. So, I lose viewers based on me talking about Pam Bondi doing nothing and Cash Patel doing nothing, but I don't care. Because I know when I go to bed at night that I came out here and I told you guys the truth. That's all that matters to me, and I think that's probably what you guys respect. We don't always like the truth. A friend who tells me the truth will either hurt you or it'll make you laugh, and it's one of those situations where I think it's hurting people. But it hurts me to sit here and watch Pam Bondi sit on her hands. That's what hurts my soul. So where's the arrest, Pam? Let's go back to Jim Jordan and his leveling of Rack Smith.
He's a candidate for president. Thank goodness Mr. Smith was slapped down on appeal and the order was changed. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, the Washington Post editorial page, Jack Smith would have blown a hole in the First Amendment. I just want to read 2 sentences from this. Mr. Smith seemed unconcerned about interfering in the democratic process by seeking to muzzle a candidate for high office. 3 appellate judges, all nominated by Democrat presidents, ruled that Mr. Smith's proposed gag order infringed on President Trump's First Amendment rights. And of course they did. And this wasn't the only time Mr. Smith lost in court. In the classified documents case in Miami, Judge Cannon held that Mr. Smith was not permitted to be special counsel. Jack Smith was never properly appointed. In fact, he couldn't be properly appointed because he was never confirmed by the Senate for any position in the executive branch as the law requires. Here's what Judge Cannon stated. Quote, the special counsel's position effectively usurps that important legislative authority, transferring it to a head of department and in the process threatening the structural liberty inherent in the separation of powers. And of course, On July 1st, 2024, the United States Supreme Court ruled that President Trump had immunity for actions taken in his official capacity as the president. 1 month later, after this decision by the Supreme Court, Jack Smith files a superseding indictment on August 27, 2024. But Mr. Smith doesn't stop there. He does something unprecedented. On October 2nd, he files a motion with the court before President Trump's defense counsel has even responded to the indictment. Everyone knows the normal process is the government indicts, the defense responds with some motions, and then the government responds to the defense. But Mr. Smith skips the second step, and the brief that he files is 165 pages, almost 4 times the court limit. Even liberal Judge Chutkan, who's given Jack Smith everything he's asked for in the course of this investigation, even she called it atypical and irregular. Now, why would Jack Smith do that? Why would he abandon proper procedure? Why would he ignore court rules? Why would he do that? Because he's running out of time. There's an election around the corner. It's coming in 33 days, and he's got to get President Trump. He's got to stop President Trump from running, tie him up in court. He's got to get to trial, or at a minimum, insert an 165-page political document into the presidential campaign. It was always about politics. The good news is the American people saw through it. They saw through it. For so long, the left has controlled so much in this country. The left controlled big media, the left controlled big tech, the left controlled academia, Hollywood, certainly the Democrat Party, and I think all too much the federal bureaucracy. But the left doesn't control we the people. And in spite of the left and the weaponization efforts of Jim Comey, Alvin Bragg, Bonnie Willis, and Jack Smith, we the people saw through it all. And we elected President Trump twice.
Amen. Well, they really got elected 3 times. But I know that was a little bit of a long clip from Jim Jordan. Some people love him, some people hate him. I happen to be fond of him. I know him for a pretty decently long time. And I just thought that was just an amazing opening statement, with Jack Smith sitting right in front of him like a little weasel that he is. That's what Jack Smith is. He's a little rat weasel. Total scum. I want to take one more quick break here, folks. We're coming right back on the Great America Show. You're not going to believe what Ilhan Omar had to say about her Somali descent. Plus, we got some more Jack Smith beatdowns. And we've got a Capitol Police officer who's pretty much a lowlife there on January 6th, acting a fool. We got all that and much, much more on the other side of this quick break. We're coming right back. Please stay with us.
Just like all of you, I had problems sleeping. I had tried every pillow out there and nothing worked. I'd flip-flop all night, use my arm for support, and fall asleep, or I'd wake up with a sore neck or maybe a headache. Well, quality sleep comes from keeping your neck straight at night. You have to fill in that space between your head and your bed. That's why I invented My Pillow. My Pillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it doesn't matter if you sleep on your back, stomach, side, or any combination of all 3.
When I got My Pillow, I'm asleep almost immediately. I stay asleep at night, and I wake up more well-rested in the morning.
So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get Classic King My Pillows for only $19.98. Queen size just $18.98. Standard Classic My Pillows only $14.98. That's right, only $14.98. Plus all orders $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Thanks, everybody, for staying with us here on the Great America Show. So the beatdown with Jack Smith didn't just end with good old Jim Jordan. He got annihilated because you remember, and Jim Jordan talked about it a little bit, Smith and the phone records. I mean, he went after everyone's phone records, particularly Kevin McCarthy's. And we went to, I think it was AT&T. To AT&T's credit, Jack Smith tried to weasel like a little rat, tried to weasel in the records. And AT&T was like, whoa, wait a second. where's your subpoena, number one? Number two, like, what do you need these for? To which Jack Smith, the little weasel rat that he is, slithered away and let it go. I think it was AT&T who came out and was like, hey, well, listen, guys, this is what this guy's doing. Brandon Gill, freshman congressman, absolutely leveled and grilled him on it. Let's take a listen.
Mr. Smith, in January of 2023, did you subpoena then Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy's toll records?
Yes, sir, we did.
Yes, you did. And the subpoena covered the time period between November 2020 and January 2021. Is that right?
I'm sorry, sir. Could you say that again?
We're not going to delay like this. The subpoena covered the time period between November of 2020 and January 2021. How many days after Kevin McCarthy was sworn in as Speaker did you subpoena his records?
I don't recall, but those two things had nothing to do with one.
It was 16 days after becoming the highest ranking Republican in the House of Representatives. You subpoenaed his toll records. Do you agree that that might reasonably be considered a violation of the speech or debate clause?
I do not, and I want to be clear that the toll records...
You were collecting months' worth of phone data on the Republican Speaker of the House, the leader of the opposition, right after he got sworn in as Speaker, all around the time of a major vote. That sounds like a flagrant violation of the speech or debate clause to me, and I think most people agree with me. And Speaker McCarthy had no recourse, did he? Because you issued a non-disclosure order ensuring that neither he nor any of the American people knew about these subpoenas. Is that right?
The toll record, the non-content toll record subpoenas, we did secure non-disclosure orders for those subpoenas.
You did, and let me ask you, Mr. Smith, at the time you secured those non-disclosure orders, was Speaker McCarthy a flight risk?
The non-disclosure order was based on concerns about...
Was Speaker McCarthy a flight risk?
He was not.
He was not. Then why did your non-disclosure order refer to him as a flight risk? It says right here, the court finds reasonable grounds to believe that such disclosure will result in flight from prosecution.
Sir, when securing a non-disclosure order, the risks don't have to be associated...
You think that the Speaker of the House is a flight risk?
The question?
No, this is not your time. This is my time. You think the Speaker of the House is a flight risk? You think he's going to hop on a plane and leave the country?
No, what I was trying to explain is with respect to a non-disclosure order, the risks aren't necessarily associated with the subscriber to the phone. They're the risks to the investigation.
I think that you were using, this was clearly in reference to Speaker McCarthy, and you were using clearly false information to secure a non-disclosure order to hide from Speaker McCarthy and from the American people the fact that you were spying on his toll records. But I've got more, so let's move on. In May of 2023, you also issued subpoenas for toll records of 9 U.S. senators and an additional representative. Is that right?
In May of 23, we did issue...
You did, and there were non-disclosure orders in conjunction with those subpoenas as well, right?
That's correct, consistent with department policy and the law.
So again, nobody would know what you were doing. The senators would, and the representatives would, and the American people wouldn't know what you were doing. Is that right?
The toll records that we secured and the non-disclosure orders were consistent with policy and...
And you knew whenever you were doing that there was a risk you were violating the speech or debate clause. Is that right?
The toll record subpoenas that we secured were with the concurrence of the public integrity.
Your own analysis says that you knew there was a risk you were violating the speech or debate clause. I have it right here. This is an email from John Keller at Public Integrity Section to your team. As you are aware, quote, as you are aware, there is some litigation risk regarding whether compelled disclosure of toll records of a member's legislative calls violates the speech or debate clause in the D.C. Circuit. That's from your own analysis right there. So you did know, didn't you?
Sir, with respect to the item you just put up on the screen, the last sentence states...
we're going to get to the last sentence.
Okay.
We're going to get to the last sentence. And you cite case law in here, quote, the bar on compelled disclosure is absolute. Is that right? Or do you think that you didn't have to abide by that precedent?
To be clear, this statement is not from my office. This is the statement of the public.
This is your justification for those subpoenas and NDOs that you ordered. This was part of your analysis. It's a cursory analysis. I think it's worth noting. But let's get to that last sentence then.
Jack Smith didn't know what to say and how to lie. By the way, I think Congressman Brandon Gill, is married to Dinesh D'Souza's daughter. I'm not mistaken. Don't sue me on that, but I'm pretty sure. But is that, I mean, Jack Smith just had a very difficult time, keeping up with the truth. I mean, very, very difficult. Sad. But this is the man that thought he was going to get Donald Trump. I'd put Jack Smith's IQ at probably like an 80. He thought he was playing with Donald Trump. There's an old saying that Lou Dobbs used to say to me. I think this is correct. If you're going to piss like a puppy, get off the porch and let the big dogs eat. And that's my advice to Jack Smith, you little sad puppy. Now, Congressman Troy Nehls is going to be departing Congress shortly and not seeking re-election. Took a different angle. Decided to talk about the January 6th Capitol Police, to which Capitol Police Officer Michael Fanone was there and had some choice words for Troy Nehls. I mean, this man is as low class as they get. Let's take a listen.
And lastly, I would like to quickly address the police officers of January 6th. Mr. Dunn, Mr. Fanone, Mr. Gonell, Mr. Hodges. I'm a member of the new select committee to actually examine what happened that day. And I can tell you, gentlemen, that the fault does not lie with Donald Trump. It lies with Yogananda Pittman and the U.S. Capitol leadership team. We know they had the intelligence and there was going to be a high propensity for violence that day. Claim my time, yeah.
You will be in order. The time belongs to the gentleman from Texas. We've had some disruptions already. We don't need that. Let the gentleman may continue.
We know the Capitol leadership team, specifically Yogananda Pittman, had the intelligence, and there was going to be a high propensity for violence that day. And the Capitol itself was the target. We knew the extremist groups were going to be there. And why do I say that? It was your own report from your intelligence section, the IICD, which was run by Pittman, in the January 3rd special events section. It was in it. It was in it. And Mr. Dunn, I believe that you thought that day would be like just any other. In your testimony to the January 6th committee, you said you found out how ugly was going to get on a cell phone. Somebody sent you some information on social media. The point is, you were all unprepared to deal with that day. And that's because your leadership failed to share the intelligence with you. It was their fault, folks. It was their fault. It was not President Trump. And we are going to expose it for the first time because the Benny Thompson, the sham committee didn't do it.
Will the gentleman yield for a
question?
question?
The sham committee didn't do it. The report is 845 pages. Donald Trump's name is mentioned 4,207 times. We know what the committee wanted to do is to not allow Donald Trump to come back and win again. And they failed miserably. And I hope you now can see that. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield the balance to my distinguished colleague out of Jersey.
I just want to quickly go over something because we keep rewriting history. The president said peacefully and patriotically. What don't we understand about peacefully and patriotically? He asked for the National Guard. That was ignored. He asked Speaker Pelosi. What don't we understand that?
Will the gentleman yield for a question? Are you saying Nancy Pelosi controls the National Guard?
Wait a minute.
The president could have ordered the National Guard if he wanted to, and you know that.
My time. I lost some of my time.
The time belongs to the gentleman from New Jersey. You have a few more seconds.
And finally, how many elected officials say we're going to fight to win an election? It's terminology used all the time, seriously. And of course, if they were guilty, they should be prosecuted. The problem was there were many in the mix.
The Democrats are such low-class people. It's unbelievable. So as you saw there, former Capitol Police officer Michael Fanone, under his breath, did a little "go F yourself," except he said it out loud to Troy Nels. That was the temperament of this man on January 6th. And just moments later, Lindell TV's Kara Castanova caught up with him in the hallway. He was all nice. Now, I'm going to warn you guys, there's profanity in this. We'll keep it authentic when we play you these clips. Just listen to this dirtbag and how he speaks to women.
Officer Fanone, how are you today?
Oh, I'm great.
What happened in there?
What are you talking about?
That confrontation.
Jack Smith testified about how he had proof beyond reasonable doubt that Donald Trump incited, orchestrated, and funded the insurrection at the Capitol on January 6, 2021.
It seemed like there was a fight in there?
No, there was no fight.
Is it true, Officer Fanone, that you turned off your own body camera on January 6th?
No.
I saw your body cam. You turned it off yourself. You were playing dead. I saw your body cam footage.
You're a fucking
What am I?
right-wing conspiracy theorist.
I saw you turn off your body cam footage, sir, but thank you for disrespecting me. Psychopath.
Can you believe that? Is that man bipolar? That was a Capitol Police officer on January 6th. Big tough guy. Well, he talks to women. Guy deserves to get belted. Speaking to a woman like that. What a loser. But notice, yeah, everything was cool until she calls him out for turning his body cam off. Then she's an effing right-wing conspiracy theorist. And that dirtbag walked free and got a book deal. Guy should have got an ass whooping. Talking to a woman like that. Who the hell do you think he is? What a joke. What a total joke. Boy, that guy makes my blood boil. He really does. Before we wrap tonight, folks, I want to get to a few other things that happened over the day, over the last day and a half or so. JD Vance was over in Minneapolis yesterday, sending a very strong message, letting our ICE agents know that we're with them, regardless of what these Marxist dem mayors and governors want to do. He was in Minneapolis, and he says it's not sending a political message. It's enforcing the law, what we're trying to do.
No, we're not trying to send a political message. We're trying to enforce the law. And unfortunately, what has happened is that as we've enforced the law, there's been this weird reaction, again, unique to this city. This is not a common thing across the United States of America. There's been a very unique, very Minneapolis-specific reaction to our enforcement of federal immigration laws. What I'm trying to do here today is understand why that is. What is it about Minneapolis that has become so chaotic? What are the specific types of cooperation that we need? Look, I don't need Tim Walz or Jacob Frey or anybody else to come out and say that they agree with J.D. Vance or Donald Trump on immigration. I just don't need that. What I do need them to do is empower their local officials to help our federal officials out in a way where this can be a little bit less chaotic and it can be a little bit more targeted. Like if we're trying to find a sex offender, tell us where the guy lives. Simple things like that, simple changes in how they're approaching immigration enforcement would make this work a lot better. It would make Minneapolis' streets a lot safer, and it would make this whole thing a lot less traumatic for this community.
I mean, to me, that doesn't seem like too much to ask for. But the Marxist Dems, they can't handle that. They literally cannot handle that. I mean, these are the sickest people, folks, I think that you can find around anywhere. I really don't know what is wrong with them. Other than the fact that they really hate this country. I mean, I think it's the most sad and pathetic thing that we have to deal with now. But these ICE agents, I think they're going to get it under control. I think they're going to be just fine. Now, JD Vance this afternoon at the March for Life rally had a message for Planned Parenthood. You suckers are under investigation. Freeze.
Life. And so, just yesterday, this administration launched fraud investigations into Planned Parenthood affiliates. for millions of dollars in PPP loans that were unlawfully received and unlawfully forgiven by the Biden administration. You should not be able to commit fraud and use taxpayer money for abortion. It's that simple. At many of our departments, we've reinstated.
You are under investigation. Freeze. Some other interesting things that happened today. Zohan Kawami Mamdani reassuring every illegal, healthcare is for you, and it's here to stay for free.
Very clearly, these are programs for every single New Yorker. These are not programs that are going to ask the immigration status of any one of the children. All of those children are New Yorkers. They should all be enrolled in pre-K and 3K, no matter where they were born or where they come from. And we are also proud to be a...
It's time to pull some federal funding from New York. They're not the only ones who need to pull federal funding from. There's a few other Marxist-run states. Ilhan Omar over in Minnesota, who married her brother, acting a weirdo today, telling us how proud she is to be a Somalian. It's not only about eating rice with your bananas, she says.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice. It's a lot. It's like it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice. You know, people don't really see, like, you know, it's you know, people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of banana and rice, but you're gonna get what I mean.
What the hell was that? I think her brain is banana and rice. But no, you're going to get what she means, sis. Says the woman who married her brother. Oh my goodness, folks. I wish we could leave it with that and wrap up with that, because that one was absolutely just hysterical. But I want to give a shout out to Alex Jones. Stephen Gardner and I hosted his show this afternoon. We did a little co-hosting over on InfoWars. So I want to give a shout out to Alex. We appreciate him giving us the opportunity. I broke a big story over there that I'm working on right now. So if you guys missed InfoWars today, you can go out and check it out. It's check out the reruns of it. Here's Steven and I this afternoon. Those of you join us here know Steven, good friend of the Great America Show, and I'm over on his show a bunch, and he's over on this show a bunch. So we had a great deal of fun. Here's Alex Jones with a little shout out.
And he's got another incredible guy I'm fully aware of. He used to work for Lou Dobbs, John Fawcett. Hosts the Great America Show, co-hosting with him next hour. They got some big issues. Big breaking news on multiple fronts. Next hour, you do not want to miss that.
Appreciate the shout out, Alex. And we did break a big story. It's something I'm working on, exposing one of the largest unions here on the East Coast. Massive union. The North Atlantic Carpenters Union. I got a little tip from a listener of the show that this particular union has been laying off Americans, but hiring illegals and employing illegals from both north and south of the border. And as a friend and partner and brother of the great Lou Dobbs, I know this would have made Lou's blood boil. So, in true fashion, it made my blood boil. So I took this issue straight to the top of the administration. We named names, companies, all of that and much more. And I said on Alex Jones' show today, the unions have 1 week to get these people back to work, these Americans back to work that they furloughed. Or their ass is grass, and I'm the mower. I'm not going to stand for that. someone comes to me with an issue like that, where you're hurting my brothers and sisters, my fellow Americans, I'm going to go down with every last fighting bone in my body to hurt you. If you think you're going to take jobs from American people, and employ illegals, Canadian illegals, South American illegals, I don't care what country they come from. You're laying off Americans and you're hiring illegals and you're keeping on illegals, like I said, your ass is grass. Let's get to some shout outs before we wrap up tonight's show and send you guys off into the weekend as you guys prepare for this massive snowstorm that hopefully doesn't come, as I have a dog that can't walk up or downstairs and I've got to carry an 85-pound dog to go to the bathroom who's got a brand new ACL. Kelly Song, Fall Girl, always a delight having you girls on the show, as I said. You guys are great. Let's see what we got here. That Marxist lout should have been perp walked out of the house and straight to prison. I'm not sure which one of them you're referring to, but I'll take all of them. You tell him, Jim. Yeah, Jim is great. We Rumblers are chopped liver. That is not true. Rumblers are my OGs, and I appreciate you guys. We love you, John. I love you guys too. You guys make it easy for me to come out here every night and do a show. So we truly, truly appreciate it. Let's see. Vince, you see, if you have money and power, you are above the law. This proves my point. Why become a mobster when you become a powerful in the government and control the justice system? They are just mobsters. They would do time. So being a political mobster has its benefits. They are above the law. I couldn't agree with you more. Absolutely couldn't agree with you more. Jim Jordan have requested the Fanny's boyfriend, Wade, should have his vision checked, as there was not enough money to make him date her. Not my type. Cherish all good. I watch you because I really like Lou Dobbs. You do not disappoint. Well, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for staying with us through this fun journey. Appreciate you tuning in to us. Let's see. Leave Trump alone. Don't join the Rat Pack. Lori, Trump wasn't allowed to protect himself with his lawyers either. Yeah, they went after him. They went after his attorneys. Anyone who, stepped foot near Donald Trump was screwed. Absolutely screwed. Brandon Gill is fire. Yeah, I agree. That was really awesome. John, I'm drinking my hot tea from my Lou Dobbs Tonight coffee mug. Oh, that's right. Our guy sent you a birthday care package. Was it last year or the year before? That's awesome. I still drink out of mine every single day. What an actor, Jack Smith. What an actor Jack Smith is acting. So meek and mild. That guy's a weirdo. Oh, boy. What a scumbag that pig is. I guess you're referring to Jack Smith. I could agree with you there. I cannot stand the political theater, Kelly Song. Yeah, I think absolutely true. Oh, Jack Smith, everybody found out you're a slime bag. Good luck with the rest of your pathetic, useless life. Yeah, I mean, he's got to be held accountable now, though. Like, we can't just let this stuff go. We can't just let that go. Bobby on Facebook, Pam won't do anything but investigate. Yeah, I think that's probably a good assessment. Arrogant jerk, Kara is great. Yeah, that Capitol Police officer, imagine having that mentality. He posed for pictures with Vindman for the lefty fans. Yeah, that guy's a lowlife, big time. He's more like a capital moron, not a capital policeman. Yeah, now he's nothing. Now he is absolutely nothing. Sailors and pirates, I think you're talking about Ilhan Omar. Did a horse kick her in her head? I think it's a good question. I think all right. This broad is as sharp as a marble. I don't know what the hell that was. That was so funny. What a disgrace she is. Hello from Pensacola, Florida. Hello, Deborah. Thanks for tuning in. I've never actually been to Pensacola. I lived in Florida for 5 years. I never made it up to the Panhandle, but I think the closest to the Panhandle I've made it is like somewhere in Louisiana. I think that's closer than South Florida, which I'll be in Louisiana, I think in 2 weeks. We'll be in New Orleans. So it'll be fun over there. You sent a wonderful birthday care package to me. Thank you, John. Have a great weekend. Take care of Donald. Be careful approaching the snowstorms. We appreciate that. And I'm glad those guys got that out to you and made it a good birthday for you. So that is all for us tonight, folks. That's all for us this week. I'm giving you guys the weekend off, but class is back in session on Monday. So make sure you're here, rain or snow. Expect to see you guys here. Have a great weekend, everybody. Please be safe. You don't have to drive. Don't go out. People generally aren't good drivers in the snow. Go out and get all your stuff that you need over the weekend tomorrow. And stay home Sunday and enjoy the snow on Monday if you guys can. And like I said, try not to go out. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. So we'll see you back here Monday for the Great American Show, folks. Truth, justice, and the American way. Same time on Monday. Same place. You know you'll find us. We'll be here. Promise no more dog issues. So we'll see you here Monday. That's all, folks. Have a great weekend. Until then, we'll see you Monday. God bless you. May God bless America. And may God bless the great Lou Dobbs. See you Monday.